Jude Bellingham is not the first Englishman in the history of Real Madrid. He was preceded by Michael Owen and Jonathan Woodgate in 2004, David Beckham in 2003, Steve McManaman in 1999, and before them Laurie Cunningham in 1979. Bellingham is the sixth English player to play for Real Madrid, but he is a distinguished player. To know why Bellingham is a distinguished player, we must review the English history with Real Madrid. Please subscribe and like the video if you like this content. We will start, of course, with the greatest midfielder in England, Steve McManaman. Steve was surprised in 1997 that Liverpool wanted to sell him because he had received a tempting offer from Barcelona for €12 million, but the Barcelona administration included Rivaldo after negotiations with Steve failed because of his salary. So the English newspapers started attacking Steve, saying that he is a player who only thinks about money. Then Steve replied that he wanted to play outside England, although he always aspired to move to a team that could win the Champions League. This was a clear hint that he wanted to play for Real Madrid. On Real Madrid's part, after Lorenzo Sanz assumed the presidency of the club, he concluded many deals, including Roberto Carlos and Carambeu, and the league was won in the 96-97 season. In the following season, he was able to restore the Champions League, which had been absent for 32 years, and then the deal was completed for Steve McManaman to move to Real Madrid. In an interview conducted by Steve with the Athletic newspaper, he said that when he arrived at Real Madrid, he discovered that no one spoke English, and of course at that time there was no Google Translate, and this is the biggest problem facing English players in the Spanish league. He added that despite that, he was trying to adapt to players to prove himself. In the first 3 matches, he was the team's top scorer, even though he was a midfielder. Steve's joining Real Madrid coincided with the return of the historic Real Madrid player and coach Delbowski in the 1999 season. Despite finishing 5th in the league, he managed to win the Champions League, and in the final match, Steve scored a wonderful goal against Valencia. After that, he got official in the Real Madrid squad. Real Madrid's dominance began to return after a long absence, as it defeated Manchester United, the Premier League champion, in the quarter-finals, and Bayern Munich in the semi-finals. Meanwhile, Real Madrid was witnessing a political struggle over who would take over as team president. Between Sanz, the man who won the Champions League twice, an achievement that made him strong athletically and in the media, and the other party was the ferocious shark Florentino Perez. Perez knew the media power of his rival, Sanz, so he promised Real Madrid fans that he would include Luis Figo from Barcelona, and if he did not come, he would pay the club €8.5 million of his own money. He added that Real Madrid's debt had increased, and that Sanz was hiding the club's true debt. Thus Perez was able to assume the presidency of Real Madrid, and the era of Galácticos began, which began with the inclusion of Luis Figo, Zidane, and Ronaldo Luis Nazario, and in light of the presence of these stars in the team, Steve became out of the squad, and in 2003 his journey with Real Madrid ended with 2 Champions League titles, 2 Spanish League titles, and a Super Cup for Spanish twice. With the end of Steve's journey with Real Madrid, another Englishman joined Real Madrid, a player who Perez said was a man of the times and a symbol of fame, David Beckham. In his first match for Real Madrid, he scored a goal against Valencia, winning the Spanish Super Cup with a score of 4-2. But despite the team being full of stars, it was a very difficult season for Real Madrid. They finished the season in 4th place in the league and lost the Spanish Kings Cup final against Real Zaragoza. It was Beckham who scored the first goal in the match, after which Zaragoza equalized the score. They were eliminated from the Champions League in the quarter-finals against Monaco after a 5-5 draw. Monaco qualified with the advantage of away goals. Monaco beat Chelsea in the semi-finals and lost the final to FC Porto under the leadership of Special One José Mourinho. Let us return to our topic. On the football side, David Beckham did not provide much for Real Madrid in light of the presence of many stars, most notably Zidane and Ronaldo. As for the marketing aspect, Real Madrid's profits from advertising rose from €38 million to €132 million. The Galácticos generation had great media power, led by David Beckham. At that time, Real Madrid needed a replacement striker for Ronaldo, so Perez decided to include Liverpool legend Michael Owen, who won the Ballon d'Or in 2001. In a press interview with the Goal website, Owen said that he did not want to leave Liverpool, the club that made him a big star, but if he rejected Real Madrid's offer as well, he would regret it forever. In Owen's first season with Real Madrid, the 2004-2005 season, contrary to expectations, it was disastrous. Real Madrid ended this season with 0 championships. This is due to Perez changing 3 coaches in one season because they were unable to choose a stable and harmonious lineup for the team, because Real Madrid at that time was full of stars. Michael Owen, although he did not get an official spot in the Real Madrid squad, managed to score 18 goals, but he was never satisfied with his situation because he wanted to play more in order to be called up to the England national team to participate in the 2006 World Cup. But the matter was very difficult in light of the presence of the phenomenon Ronaldo. Therefore, he wanted to return to Liverpool, but Liverpool was not able to buy him, and in the summer of 2005, he received an offer from Newcastle, and Owen agreed to leave, and at that time it was the beginning of the end of the Galácticos era. With Perez's interest in stars with an influential media image, he signed English defender Jonathan Woodgate for only €13 million simply because he is a famous player. Woodgate is considered one of Real Madrid's most unsuccessful deals in history, and in his first time with Real Madrid, he scored a goal against his team and received a red card. Not because Woodgate is a bad player, but rather he was injured, and this was his first match after being absent for 17 months. Because of Perez's wrong decisions and his interest in the media image more than sports, Real Madrid did not win any championship in 2 consecutive years. The end came after losing to Zaragoza with a score of 6-1, so Perez decided to resign even though he had eliminated €600 million of Real Madrid's debts. In the summer of 2007, Woodgate left Real Madrid, and it was also time for Beckham to leave, but before his departure, he won the league championship with Real Madrid after a fierce struggle against Barcelona. Then he moved to the American League team Los Angeles and ended his career with Real Madrid with only 2 titles. After Beckham's departure, the English nationality disappeared from the Real Madrid squad for a long time, until Perez returned with a new idea, which was to rely on young players. In the meantime, a distinguished English midfielder appeared, such as Steve McManaman, but he had no problem adapting, namely Jude Bellingham. Jude was able to leave his comfort zone, which is the Premier League, while he was still young, unlike previous players such as Beckham, who left the English Premier League at the age of 28 years, McManaman 27 years old, Owen 25 years old, Woodgate 24 years old, and also Laurie Cunningham, 24 years old. Bellingham preferred moving to Real Madrid rather than returning to England, and he said in an interview with the Athletic newspaper that playing outside his comfort zone makes his level better. He also added that Real Madrid's offer cannot be rejected. And here our episode ends. Thank you for watching. We will see you in a new video.